Today we're going to grill some pork chops. Now, if you don't want to use a chop, you can also use a pork tenderloin. Or if you wanted to do a whole pork loin, you could do that too. This is a great marinade that I absolutely adore. What we're going to do is we're going to use some soy sauce, some lemon juice, and some canola oil, garlic and black pepper. Very simple, but very flavorful. First, I'm going to take 3 cloves of garlic that I chopped up and put right there into my bowl. And I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. And then I'm going to put in some good soy sauce. Now, this is Pearl River. I'm really into better soy sauces than just your plain everyday. Now, we need 1/4 of a cup, which is the same as 4 tablespoons. And this is a nice, thick soy sauce, and it has a nice flavor. Now, I'm not going to add salt, because if I add salt, it's going to get too salty with the soy sauce. And since this is healthy cooking, that's why most of my recipes suggest to taste. Now, I'm going to use, again, 1/4 of a cup of oil, and I'm using canola oil. I don't want to overpower the flavor with any other oil. The only other thing I need now is some black pepper, and you want as much as you can put in there and stand. I love black pepper. And we're going to take it and we're going to whisk it and combine all the ingredients. And once we get them combined well, we're going to pour them over the pork, and we're going to let this marinate for up to 4 hours. I don't like to marinate it too long because I don't want to cook the meat. We have to remember, meat is muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is 75% water. That's why it shrinks when it cooks. And if you start the cooking process too soon with your marinade, it'll dry it out. So here we've got our pork, and I'm going to turn it and make sure it's totally soaked in there. Cover it, refrigerate it, and then throw it on the grill. One of my favorite things to do is to grill vegetables. Today we're going to grill some that are going to go just great with the pork. What we're going to do is we're going to use sweet potatoes, cabbage, and apples. And this couldn't be simpler, and if you decide you don't want to grill today, you can put these in the oven too, and I'm going to show you the trick. First, we do want to peel the sweet potatoes. Okay, now I'm going to start cutting. First, I'm going to cut my sweet potato, and I want to cut these into chunks. And I want things to be about the same size so they'll cook evenly. That's the trick to cooking on the grill or anywhere. And since these are a little bit wider, I'm going to cut these in half. Oh, these are going to be so good. So I've got my sweet potatoes ready. Now I'm going to cut my apples. And what I'm going to do is just cut around the core and chunk the apples too. And if you've got a little one helping you, they can nibble on what's left. And again, I just want to chunk these because they're going to get nice and soft as they cook, and the flavors are going to meld. Now I've got my apples cut. Next is my cabbage, and I'm using a small head. And I want to cut it into about 8 pieces. So first, I cut it in half long ways through the core. Now I'm going to cut it in half again. And I'm going to cut the core out just by cutting at an angle against the cutting board. Then I'm going to quarter that half. Now, the best way to do this, I don't like to do dishes, okay? You might like to, I don't like to. So, I like to get a pan, whether it's a big old pie pan or the roasting pan that you might do your lasagna in. And I'm gonna take it and use this as a base. And I've got some foil here. And I'm gonna put the foil down and I'm gonna spray it with some spray. This way we don't get a lot of fat, but we also don't get things sticking real bad. Now, I'm just gonna start putting stuff in my pan here. And my potatoes. And this really makes a nice, flavorful dish. Some people like to add an onion. You can if you like. It's sort of up to what you're into. If you do, I would add a red onion. Now, we've got all our good stuff in there. You got a salt and pepper. Put a little bit of pepper, and again, if you want to use fresh cracked, that's even better. And I've got my sea salt, and I'm going to put a little bit of that in. Now, I'm just going to cover this up. Nice and tight. But, so it doesn't get too soggy, I'm going to cut just a couple holes in the top with my knife for the steam to get out. And here we go. Nothing to wash, and I'm just going to put it on the grill and cover it. Or if you'd like, you can also bake it in the oven. Alrighty, I've got my vegetables that I've had on the grill. I'm gonna uncover them, and oh, are they not beautiful? Now, I don't really recommend serving them in aluminum foil. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them over here in a dish. And toss them around so that you can get the benefit of all the colors, just the way we had it before. Now, you may say, oh, what's good on top of this? We have our pork chops, and we're gonna take them, and we're gonna cut them first in half, since these are butterfly chops, and then to make a nice presentation, I like to cut them on the bias. And by doing this, it just looks nicer, and it's a lot easier to serve. Now, you can garnish the tray with some fresh herbs, which are always nice. Sprinkle with a few cherry tomatoes to add some more color. And look at the dishes you've got to sit out at your next party.
Get this healthy cook recipe and other recipes online at Metro TV at LouisvilleKY.gov.
Metro TV, a public service of Louisville Metro government.